So today we're going to be unpacking why I love the Hermes Kelly 35 so much and finding out if it's the right size for you. Stay tuned. I have owned the Hermes Kelly 35 now since October of 2022. Time is flying by, quite frankly, and I'm ready to buy my next Hermes bag. Is it a Birkin? Is it a Kelly? We don't know. We're going to unpack that in a separate video. But today what I wanted to do is really dive into the Hermes Kelly 35. We're going to talk about a little bit of the history of the Kelly bag, the designs themselves, and diving into an in-depth review of my Kelly 35. But before we do all that, you guys, hey, my name's Caleb. If you're new here, I post luxury and lifestyle related content every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. If that's something you're into, hit the subscribe button down below. Consider becoming a member, so hit the join button down below to learn more about the extra perks and things that come along with being a member. And let's dive into the Kelly 35. So the Hermes Kelly, as we know it, kind of got its start in 1930. So it was designed by Robert Dumas, who was the son-in-law of then CEO Émile Hermès, and he designed it loosely based on the haut à quoi, or the hack as we all call it, and I love this bag. So for the first few years of its life, it kind of, it lived a little under the radar. When Mel and Melbourne interviewed Marion from 7RP, she dove into the history of the Kelly bag, which she has some phenomenal pieces in her collection. Please go check out her Instagram. She is absolutely fabulous. Hashtag goals 100%. But she found out that in the earlier catalogs that Hermes used to put out, the Kelly was considered part of the luggage set, the travel collections, if you will. And then slowly it evolved into being like considered a true handbag from the handbag collections in about the 1950s. So in case you aren't familiar with the story of why the Kelly bag became so freaking popular, I will tell it to you today. So this took off in 1955 when Grace Kelly filmed To Catch a Thief. The Kelly, which I think she had a box cellier, which we'll dive into all the different leathers and styles here in a little bit, but she had a gorgeous cellier version. It was part of her costume in To Catch a Thief. At the end of filming, she decided not to give it back, which I mean, hello, I think we all would refuse to give back the Hermes bag, right? Like, I'm not alone in that. And then later on, she actually used this to shield her baby bump when she was being photographed by paparazzi. It wasn't until 1977, though, that the sac à dépêche was then thusly renamed the Kelly bag. Now, over the years, the Kelly bag has seen so many iterations. Many of them are discontinued or were special limited editions, which we're not going to cover in today's video. However, there are 6 main sizes to consider when you're picking out the right Hermes Kelly for you. That would be the mini, which comes in at 20 centimeters and low-key incredibly cute, perfect for lunch. The 25 centimeter, 28 centimeter, 32 centimeter, 35 centimeter, and the largest one that is considered part of the handbag collections is the 40 centimeter. Caveat to that, there is some rumors that the 40 centimeter might be a rested design. It's still available as part of the special order made to order section in Cellier at least, but as we all know, Hermes often will rest a design or a size for a time and then bring it back. And to that end, Blue Jean is being reintroduced back into the color wheelhouse, which is so freaking exciting. I might buy some SLGs. And classically, aside from those 6 different sizes, the Hermes Kelly comes in 2 different styles. You'll have the Retourne style, which is the style I have here. This style is made inside out and then flipped right side out as we know it. So all the seaming around the edges are hidden on the inside behind this piping. Conversely, you'll have the Cellier, which is then made right side out and then left as such. Typically the Cellier is noted as more of a formal, more put together look, whereas the Retourne is more perfect for every day and weekends. Now typically with the Retourne it'll be a little bit more relaxed, you'll see a little bit more give along the sides, whereas the Cellier is going to be very stiff, very structured. Typically the Cellier is most commonly seen with like either box leather or Epsom leather, whereas occasionally you can find a Cellier in like a Togo or a Clemence leather, but very, very rarely, at least when I'm looking. Now to that end, the Retourne style can come in a handful of leathers. The one I have here is most common. This is the Togo pebbled leather, which is going to give you more of an even grain. You'll have Clemence, which I think is a little bit thicker. You'll also have Epsom, which basically think of like Prada Saffiano. It's a very textured leather. I don't want to use the word processed because all Hermes leathers are absolutely stunning, but of the set, I think Epsom is the most affordable and also kind of my least favorite. I like to see a little bit more natural grain to the bag, so I prefer the more pebbled leathers. So truly to cover every single like leather type, leather color, design of the Kelly would seriously be such a long video. So I know that Jean-Paul Gaultier had the shoulder Kelly, there's been the Kelly cut, the Kelly long, the Kelly pochette, the Kelly dance. I mean, the amount of Kellys that you can find on the pre-loved market is absolutely insane. I just wanted to go with something classic for my first major H quota bag. So I chose, like you already know, this is the Kelly Retorn style in the Togo leather. I bought this in October of 2022. Now, to give you a little bit of an idea of what pricing might look like, with tax, I live in Chicagoland, so my tax is 10%. I think I paid just over $8,000 for this, maybe like 84, 85. I can't really remember right. For a good example of a Kelly low end, expect to spend at least $8,000. Now I have seen them, especially in red, go for a lot less, but red is such a common color. When it comes to any of the Hermes leathers, I think red and black are like their two most commonly made colors, so you're gonna see a lot of those in the aftermarket. Black's a little bit more desirable just because it's a neutral. Red can be kind of a specific color to wear, and as you all know, I prefer my cool colors, so you're not going to really see me running around with a red bag, right? Other things to consider when it comes to pricing is the condition. So when I purchased mine, mine had a little bit of corner wear, which I was absolutely okay with. And aside from that, it's flawless, knock on wood. Now the corners, nothing to worry about. Whenever I'm ready to send this into Hermes for spa, they'll touch up the corners and everything. It'll be super easy. Another thing to consider when purchasing your Kelly is the color of hardware. Hardware typically comes in three colors now. You have the palladium, which I have here, gold, and then rose gold. The rose gold is really gorgeous and it looks really good on like the jewel tones, nata, cray, chai, all like the nice neutrals as well. I mean, low key, the rose gold is 100% a vibe and I kind of want one, but ooh, rose gold on malachite. Anyway, a boy can dream, right? Now, the Kelly itself comes in two major variations if you're buying pre-loved. So the Kelly that I have here is known as the Kelly 2. And basically the difference between Kelly and Kelly 2 is that the Kelly 2s, which were introduced in the early 2000s, will have an extra wing here on the D-ring. That, to me, just makes it easier to attach the shoulder strap, which I very rarely use. That way you don't have any wear on the bottom of the handle here on this side. It's a small design change, but a very useful one in my opinion. All right, let me get this lock off the front and we'll talk a little bit about the inside. The reason why I chose my Kelly over the Birkin for my first H quota bag was the single top handle. Now, a lot of people complain that the Kelly is hard to get in and out of when you're out and about, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Quite frankly, when I'm carrying a handbag, I prefer one handle. Much like my Fendi Peekaboo or my Fendi.com, my YSL Muse 2s, I just like a good single handle, and I don't need a lot of drop. So if I can put it over my wrist while I undo the sangles, fantastic. Now, getting in and out of the bag when you're not sitting at a counter or at a table can be a little tricky, so I'm going to show you my trick to get in and out. So what I do is, while I'm standing there, I'll hold the bag from the base, make sure it's supported with all of your things inside. You'll just undo the sangles, give it a little pinch, and you'll slide around the turret, or the lock closure, and then you can just open the flap and get in and out of your bag. Honestly, a lot easier than people make it out to be. Now, when I am carrying the bag, you have a couple of options on how to carry it. A lot of people will carry it open, and I do that sometimes on the weekend, especially if I'm wearing something casual like a tracksuit. Or if I want to dress it up, I will do the sangles up to kind of give it a more formal look. But again, that 100% depends on your style, your aesthetic, and like what you want your H to say about you. That's the fun thing about Hermes is they have such beautiful designs, but you can really personalize it and make it more you, which I kind of uncovered that a little bit in my video about Jane Birkin, which I just posted a few weeks ago, so go and check that out if you haven't yet. Super good video, major style icon. Now, another way that people like to carry their Kelly, and I do not recommend, is open. Yep, I said it, open. So a lot of people will just like leave the flap undone, which then means you're putting all of that stress here on the back of the bag. I don't think that's going to be good for the bag long term, especially in these softer leathers. I think they're going to be easier to stretch than say like a box would, but I just would not do that because this can get a little hefty once you have your stuff inside. Now, when it's totally empty, the bag really doesn't weigh a whole lot. Like I've had my arm up this whole time filming and it's not that tired yet, which is fantastic. That's another thing too that I know about the Birkin is even empty, those can weigh a ton. So that's something to consider, is weight a consideration. Also, another reason why I chose the Kelly, the shoulder strap. The Birkins do not have shoulder straps, which blows my mind for such a big bag. But anyway, the shoulder strap does come in handy. Do I wear by the shoulder strap often? Absolutely never. However, when I am carrying this bag out and about, just in case we sit at a small table for lunch or brunch, there's not enough room to place it anywhere, I can hang the bag by the strap off my chair, which is a lot better than putting it on the floor. Let's just all agree on that, right? I don't know, gosh guys, I just love this bag so freaking much. It's beautiful, it's gorgeously constructed. Speaking of the construction, the Kelly bag itself will take an artisan 18 to 24 hours to produce. Each stitch, which is hand done, there's 680 plus stitches on the Kelly bag. So the amount of craftsmanship that goes into this bag, of course, just like the Birkin, this is made by a single artisan from start to finish. And what I really do love is that the handle itself is actually made over the thigh of the artisan, which is kind of cool. It kind of gives it that extra personality. Each one's going to be completely different from one another. Another thing that kind of made me pick this colorway, first of all, blue jean, iconic. I mean, hello, this color was everywhere in the early 2000s. I don't know why they discontinued it, but thank you for bringing it back, Hermès gods. But I love the blue jean with the palladium hardware. I think it gives it kind of a more modern, more sporty look, and also palladium feet show a lot less wear than gold feet ever will. With the gold, even though it's beautifully plated, it does tend to kind of rub off, and you're gonna see silvering on the back no matter what eventually, which is low-key a bummer, but I'm not opposed to having a gold hardware bag now that I have my palladium out of the way. All right, so we've talked enough about the history, the specifications, and all of that jazz. Let's get into the interior next. All right, now let's take a moment to see what truly fits inside of the Hermès Kelly 35. So to get in, like I said, you just kind of have to pinch the one side, turn the turret, and take the sangle off, and that'll help release this portion. Now, once you get inside, the interior of the Kelly, like many Hermès bags, is lined in chev goat skin. Now, keep in mind, everyone says that if you send off a bag to Hermès Spa, they're not going to touch the interior. So a lot of people are going to tell you that you should get like a bag insert, like a 7RP, something of that nature. I've never found the value in them just because I'm a very organized person as it is, and I'm not putting anything inside that could inherently damage the bag, but just keep in mind that that advice is still out there. Now on the inside, you have one zipper pocket along the back, and then two slip pockets here in the front. Now, because the way that the bag is designed, eventually you could start to see some indentations where that pocket is, so I generally don't put anything in there just to stay safe. However, what I do put in there, first we'll start out with the wallet. This is my Louis Vuitton Brazza wallet. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect Hermès Baron wallet. As you all know, they laughed at me when I tried to ask. If you need to see that again or haven't seen it yet, check out the vlog, it'll be linked down below. So we'll stick that back here in the back. My Louis Vuitton Poche Toilette 15. This is the perfect size for everything I need for a day. We'll do my sunglasses, throw those in. Can't go anywhere without gum, and I have a fresh pack to open, which is super exciting. That's the highlight of my week. We've got the car key, which will just slide in there, which is nice. Coach pill case. Bang & Olufsen headphones, which will just slide down in there. And last but not least, my Prada nylon 6-key holder will just kind of rest right on top so I can get that pretty easy. Now, that is what everything on the inside looks like. Now, if I wasn't doing this rushed and for camera, it would look a little bit better, but bear with me, use your imagination. Aside from that, it can fit a little bit more inside, so you could probably get like your e-reader in there, maybe a small tablet. Some people use these to carry their laptops. I'd be a little afraid of the weight, just, because I'm so, type A personality, but you do you, safe space, no judgment. And then we'll just quickly cinch up the sangles, throw our key clochette off to the front, and we're off to go. We're all set. All right, guys, so that was just a little bit of an impromptu, quick guide to getting to know the Kelly 35. Listen, I cannot recommend this bag enough. I was kind of torn between sizes, so the 35, in my opinion, seems to be kind of the most affordably priced, also the easiest one to find, in my opinion. 40 can be a little bit hard to find, and also I didn't want to go that large because I was worried that it would kind of err on the side of briefcase when, this is definitely clearly a bag, right? Am I wrong? No. However, 32, amazing size, 28's a great size, but because those are a little bit smaller, you're going to see a little bit higher of a price for them, especially in more specialty leathers, colors, and styles. So keep that in mind. 35, definitely most bang for your buck. And I think this size really works just about on every type of person and size of frame. It's the perfect size and carries everything I need. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed my little Hermès guide here. I am super excited. As you all know, I am embarking on part 3 of the journey. So we have Hermès bag number 1, my Rio, number 2, my Kelly 35, bag number 3, Hermès Kelly Cellier, Birkin. I don't know, you're gonna have to come back later and find out. Until then, guys, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.